May I present to you JC Harinder Singh ji. For the next 1 hour, he is with us. Gain a lot of experience. Thank you so much, sir, for being here. Over to you.
Please sit down. Please sit down. Thank you so much. Good evening. Sleepy, shall we? They didn't give you a break to have a cup of tea or a sip of water. One man here, so many very, very young, dynamic individuals. Good evening. For me, it's a great pleasure. Great pleasure to stand here before you. And when I stand, I look at my past and see where I was one day, and many more of you are here. How many of you understand English very well? Okay, thank you. And how many of you understand Hindi well? All right, I am an Andhra. In spirit, in body, in my terms of my life. నేను ఇక్కడే ఉన్నాం. కాలేజ్ ఎక్కడ చేసాం, యూనివర్సిటీ ఎక్కడ చేసాం, తర్వాత పని మొత్తం ఎక్కడ చేసాం. బట్ టు స్పీక్ టు ఆల్ ఆఫ్ యూ ఇన్ ద తెలుగు దట్ యూ వుడ్ లైక్. No, I am poor. So let me try to talk to you in Hindi and English, and wherever you have a doubt, just raise your hand. Okay? Ask me in Telugu, I'll answer you in Hindi or English. Are you ready? What is most important thing for you in your life at this juncture? What is that one thing that is most critical to you? Money. Interesting. The young ladies here. One thing that is most important for you from here upwards, not downwards. Past is gone. It's history. Time. All right. Sorry? Louder? Career. Okay, great. Whose career? Her career? His career? Or your own career? Your own career. Brilliant. When do you think your career is good? How do you decide that, yes, now I have a good career? You must be wondering, we asked him to come and lecture and he is only asking questions. But I'm trying to ask questions so that I can satisfy the butterflies in your stomach. I wish when I was your age, somebody did it to me. When do you think your career is good? Then you don't have to tell God, hey Bhagavantadu garu naake inka ekkuvaga ichcheseyandi. Then you stop asking him and say, now I will return. When you earn 10,000 a month, is it enough? No. Some say yes, some say no. All right, 25,000 a month. A lakh a month? Now some. Very little knows. 2 lakhs a month? 25 lakhs a year is not enough? Now they don't know what that 25 lakhs really means. I'm glad you said this. I think you all should clap for yourselves. Thank you for giving me a good beginning. Your life is your own life. You have to be the master of it. Am I correct? From here onwards, young ladies and gentlemen, you can't look back and say, my mother didn't do for me, my father didn't do for me, my teacher didn't do for me. You're more or less at a crossroad. Either you have already reached or you're reaching in the next 1 or 2 years. You have understood what this world is, what it costs to take you where you are. And this is the time when you have to say, I will be my own driver. Are you ready to be your own driver? So all success, you can do this. And all failures, you can say, let me look, see how I fail and not make that mistake again. मैं अकेला ही चला था जानिब मंजिल, लोग साथ आते गए, कारवां बनता गया. We all are a part of a huge congregation. From your homes, you all started alone, or maybe two, maybe four from the same locality. But when you reached here, it is 800 strong audience today. It is important that you know where your life is taking you. I am one of those who believes that your life is your own, making your destiny is your own job. When I landed in Hyderabad in a year that your probably dad was born, not you, your dad was born, I came from UP, a Hindi medium school, and when I joined college, I couldn't speak 2 sentences of English right. What did I do? Did I go back to UP? No. There was no choice. That choice was not available to me. Maybe I would have done that. I would have been very happy. I lived in a beautiful town called Dehradun. It still is a very pretty town. I wish I had gone back there. Schools I went to, the names you must hear. Sadhuram High School and Guru Nanak High School and Intermediate College. At that time, they taught me English in class 6. A, B, C, D, I learnt in class 6. Till then, there was no ABC also taught. But then what did I do? I had same challenges that you have, different ones. You didn't have this challenge, you have other challenges that I didn't have. I was very happy with a manual phone, which came much later in life and everybody did not have to carry. If you don't carry a mobile phone, you are ancient today, right? How many of you do not have a mobile phone of your own? Do not. Not a single hand, one hand. Wow. All the other 799 have a phone of their own. And how many of you don't do just talking? I still do just talking, let me tell you. I can only receive a call and make a call. I'm good at it, but nothing beyond that. And you all lead your whole life on that little mobile. All your Facebooks you can do on your mobile, right? Am I correct? No, you can't. You have to go to a computer to do Facebook. Not necessary. If you want to do well in life, the first decision that you have to make to yourself, that you need to change. Somewhere you have to stop thinking that you are so-and-so's son, so-and-so's daughter, so-and-so's student, so-and-so's younger brother, sister. You have to start thinking that you are you. Start loving your name, no matter what name that parents have given to you. If you really seriously think that each day in your life is a new day, can you do anything about yesterday? Can you change it? You had a fight with a friend and you realize that you were on the wrong. Can you change that to make it good? You have to stay with this feeling that you were not fair to your friend. Granting this, let's get ready for the next day not to be in a similar situation where I can do that to another friend. And for that, I must change. For that, I must be ready to face unexpected challenges every day. Hyderabad is full of challenges. You get out of the house and suddenly you see, when it is not raining, my lane is full of water. Unfortunately, the drain water. Don't we see in paper? I see it every morning and feel sad for all those people who live in those areas, that this is a challenge. You dressed for something very good and you have to somehow manage to get across that stream, that lake, that river, whatever it is. You get out of the house and suddenly you see the auto fellows are on a strike. You get out of the house and see the main road is, for the last 10 minutes, a vehicle has not moved a centimeter. So where do you go? You get stuck. It is sad to know that we have our young friends who cannot reach an MSET because of a traffic jam. How do we as a society prepare ourselves to grant to all of you and your younger generation a freedom and choice that you will be in time to your centers? I wish I could. I can't. And this is the sad. These are the challenges that you will face. Each one of you is a different individual. You would like to be a different individual. Much that you might tell your mother, hey, you are the bestest thing that can happen to us. But when you become a mother, there are 100 things, young ladies, you won't want to do to your children. Naturally. Because you have moved that much forward in life. Because the exposure that you have had is different from the exposure and opportunity that your mother has had. And same is true of the father. My own father used to walk to his clinic. He was a doctor in Dehradun. From home to that, he used to walk to his clinic, walk back for the lunch, walk back after lunch and a little rest, and walk back in the night. Because we didn't have a vehicle with us. We were people who came during the partition, and that was not possible. When I know that before partition, he was one of the 3 people in the whole town that we lived who had private cars. One of the 3. And when we came to Dehradun, for all the years that he lived, he didn't have a car. He walked down to the office. We are a family of 5 brothers, and I am the youngest. I never got a bicycle till 4 of my brothers disappeared from the town Dehradun. I got cycle only when they all disappeared. People feel sad when the brothers go away. I felt very happy. And why? Because I was going to get a cycle from the next day. Honestly, truly. Because each such thing, apart from the ownership that you get, opens up the new opportunities for you. And the opportunities for you, ladies and gentlemen, are innumerable. They are mammoth. They are by the millions. You have to decide to be something and you become something. Karnataka Chief Minister now, Mr. Siddaramaiah, used to take his sheep as a child and take them to the forest for grazing. Truly, he's a shepherd's son. And that was his duty. A little child, give a stick, carry them, carry your lunch if you had lunch. I don't know how rich or comfortable was the family. And he did his study on his own. He passed the law. But today he is the chief minister of a state. What would he have inherited? Nothing in wealth. He's been a politician. He jumped this party over 8 years ago. And 8 years he has only been an MLA and a leader of opposition. But today his new world starts. And these are the opportunities that you have to decide to grab. You have to decide your own future as to what you want to be. I was very impressed with Sanjay's presentation when he was talking about that dabbawala business. Some 20 years ago, in this very town, in a colony called Umanagar behind Lifestyle at Begumpet, when I say Lifestyle, all youngsters know it. This is their hangout place anyway. So, a young lady who got married, came here, lived with her husband and in-laws, was getting very bored sitting at home doing nothing. The husband worked in a multinational company and he would bring his friends because they were all from outside. He had a home here. So he would bring his friends for a meal and would always praise this young lady in saying that you make beautiful food. What a food! I am reminded of my mother, I am reminded of my bhabi, I am reminded of my sister. And this lady would feel very happy, but didn't think beyond that. And one day, one adventurous friend sitting there, 6 of them, why can't we get her to send off tiffins to our office? And the lady picked up the idea like this. Can I? Yes. This lady went next year and all of them organized a meeting with the HR. And they made a little survey that how many people are willing to take a tiffin, a meal at this cost. Very little cost at that time. There were 20 of them who were ready to take. She came home, went to her mother-in-law and said, Mom, will you help me? I want to send these 20 tiffins every day. You just help me in kitchen. The rest I'll organize myself. She saw a guy who was in the colony, who had work in the morning and in the evening, and daytime he was free. He gave him an incentive that I'll buy a cycle which can carry these tiffins. You go there, wait there, let them eat, you bring back the tiffins. 20 tiffins, ladies and gentlemen, 2 years later became 2,000 tiffins. $2,000 tiffins means autos were needed, more people were needed, more customers were needed, and for the first 1 year it was all by recommendations from one to the other. Finally, they converted the garage where cars were parked into a kitchen. And from the area, this lady picked up all those women who were working in people's houses, saying, you finish that work in the morning, come and do my work. And they were very happy because they had extra earnings. And by the 10th year, she had educated 22 children of those maids, and they were her business partners. The girls educated, did intermediate, did graduation. Instead of finding other jobs, they became, when it was 2,000 dabbas, they were all partners in that business. Why should she not be doing this? Even if she made 10 rupees a day on each meal, I'm being very conservative, 10 rupees a day, then she has 20,000 rupees a day, 2,000 dabbas. 6 lakhs in a month, and which job gives you 6 lakhs and 72 lakhs package even today? The world is like that. Think like that. Think out of the box. And I'll tell you why you should do this, because there is nothing like doing things where you are the master. You have the facility of e-knowledge. You're much better off than our generation. My mother never even knew whether there was something like a mobile phone or a computer. My father would have been wondering. His clinic was like manual making those medicines and mixes. All brothers had done it in the evening, free time. What you need to know with yourself, you need to know that you will grow. You must have determination and make a chart of yourself. If this year I have done this, the next year this much more I must be able to do. Whether it is abilities, competence or earnings. All things are important. I'm not a saint who says money is not a good thing. Money is the best thing. If you earn it, you have everything else that you can buy, which you don't have to borrow from others. You are listening to a gentleman who till college didn't even have a trouser of his own. I used to wear trousers rejected by my elder four brothers. I mean it. When I went for a job interview, shirts were different because I'm taller than my other brothers were, but trousers fitted. And you can always make adjustments. They can be with a turn, without a turn. All those things were there. But honestly, till then, no. I want you to have your own trouser. I want you to have every year something new and different. And what do you need to do? You must increase your competence. Constantly you must increase. I went to United States of America a couple of years ago, and I met an old friend of my son. He is from Andhra Pradesh. His mother, who was at that time, I think 80, 82, God bless her, she's still very much living. She was talking for 2 hours a day on the computer to her other two grandsons, which were the elder son's children, a daughter and a son. And they would talk every single day. The grown-up children would love to talk to their grandmother. The mother and father would always complain, "You never have time for us, but you have time for your grandma." What do we call grandma in Telugu? Amama or Amma. They have time for Amma, but not for mom and dad, because in America they are all moms and dads. So they would always, the children turned back and told the parents, "You talk to us what you want to tell us. Mom talks to us what we want to hear. Amama talks to us what we want to hear." So she is a greater friend than you. So they find time for it. And technology for that old lady, all she wants is computer on. Then on the side, she sees them, she talks to them, she tells them from morning to evening what she's eaten, what she's done. They tell her what all has their day gone. Please remember that you will all need to earn a lot of money, because your needs are very different from the needs of your parents. Today, maybe you look at a scooter or a motorbike as, wow, if I can have my own, it's good. But how long? You need to have a car. Even if you don't need to have a car or don't want, there are enough banks and financial institutions who send you a mail, a pamphlet, an incentive, a reward or something to take a vehicle and take finance from them. And they manage to do their business very well, because your aspirations are growing by the day. Must grow. You need to have a lot of money. You need to have a lot of knowledge so that you can match anybody else. Competition for you is huge. I went for an NCC camp in the year 1956. I was the only one in my whole school, 3 platoons, who could talk a little bit of an English, because there was an officer who refused to speak anything but English. Out of 300 students, one, Harinder Singh, could talk a few sentences. Today, each one of you have to talk, because you have to manage your own future. Knowledge, competence, and the will to earn money. It is important. Now, all this learning that you do, the principle that you all have given is get the theory into yourself. You can all raise your hand, stop me if you don't understand, make me repeat. I have no problem. I have come for you. 1 hour can be 1 hour, 10 minutes. My minutes don't cost anything as far as you are concerned. They are for free. And it is very rewarding for me to share my life with you. You have to begin to think, what do I need to do? Your school learning, if you want to put it to practice and experiment and perfect it, how do you do it? What does the driving instructor do to you? When you want to learn car driving, what does he do? He makes you sit that side, first tells you, then puts you on the steering, and he has half the controls with him and the other half with you, and he lets you make mistakes, and then he corrects you. Where is that driver with you all the time? Do you have that driver all the time? I'll give you a driver. I'll truly give you a driver who will, not in one thing, but every single thing will help you. And that's how I have grown. That's how I am where I am today. I attribute it to this very set of drivers who drove me and let me take life into a much wider perspective. Otherwise, what would I have been? I would have been the sales manager, retired from any marketing company. Best is that. I wouldn't have done anything more than that. Because I wouldn't have seen I saw that. I wanted to be a marketing guy. You know why? Because whenever my elder brother, who was good in marketing, went on his long tours, when he came back, he brought a bush shirt for me. Youngest brother, kindness, love, whatever you might call it. So my feeling was that there must be a good job so he can buy a bush shirt for me, a marketing guy. Little did I realize how tough it is. Earnings are important. You learn so many theories. I think a lot of people have taught you what to do. When will the learning get perfected? The driver gets perfect when he can sit without the instructor, go and take an exam and pass it, and after that, drive on the actual location. Then you become a good driver. Any learning is the same. If you have got to be a computer expert, you should be able to do all that there. Your instructor shows you how to do it without any help from anyone. Self-help. All these lovely photographers have not become just like that. It's not easy. Just high-tech camera, what is there? Just click it. Oh my God, it needs a lot of skill to take a good picture. They make ugly people look so beautiful, and they don't have God's powers, but they have skill. They look at it, how, where, when to click from which angle, what kind of light, what kind of distance. And you have to do the same. We need a laboratory of this kind, and we have one here. You would wonder at the end of the program, after 10, 11 days, somebody is selling something. No, I'm not selling it to you. I'm only telling you that it benefited me. If you want to try that route, it still is good, because the organization itself has advanced to a new level. At the level at which I started experimenting was very primitive, and the level at which they all do, it's very advanced. What Sanjay was doing with you, I can't even do it today. I will now have to start learning, because I think I must, for my own happiness, not go from this world saying I couldn't make a presentation, design a presentation. I design it on paper. Someone like Sanjay helps me to make it, but then why do I depend on him? And people like him. Why can't I pick up a computer? Because a computer has everything. Like my mother had answers to all my questions. This computer has everything there. I have only to get that answers. Making mistakes is an excellent thing. Unless you make a mistake and you understand why you made that mistake, at least there is one mistake you will not make again in your life, because you have corrected it. So very soon you will learn your answers from your own mistakes. All that you need to do is be ready to walk further and find out which is the correct road. Doesn't it happen? We go to new towns, we find once we go wrong. And if you are someone like Harinder Singh, he does it more often. My wife is my navigator. I take her once, she remembers. So I have now become very comfortable. I tell her, you remember the ways, I'll take the steering. She's nervous to drive, I'm nervous to find ways. So it works for us. But then, you have to find solutions of this kind. You have to find your answers. Where will you find all the time? Teachers are not all the time there. They don't have time for you because they have increasing number of students coming behind. And good teachers are always in demand. Why don't you become your own teacher? Why don't you find ways to find those answers within yourself? Why don't you find a kind of a life that you don't even dream of it today? 5 years ago you didn't even dream of it, but then you have started dreaming now. Someone like going in an Audi car, BMW car. If other people can go, any one of you can also be driving that. You only have to know it costs so many lakhs. Isn't it? Driving it is no different than driving a Maruti 800. The gear system is the same, engine is there, accelerator is there, and brakes are there. Petrol is, in any case, you don't have to create. There are stations that give you. It's a bigger car, it's a more expensive car, So you have to earn that kind of money. To earn that kind of money, you have to grow up financially. To sit comfortably and say, to hell with the world, it's in my hands, you have to grow your personality. I'm a very blessed man. I went to Infosys One. You know this company. And you know everyone involved in Infosys. The chairman of Infosys, Mr. Narayan Murthy, a very respected individual. I have a good fortune again that one of my friends from MA, we completed 50 years of friendship, was then the Chief Minister of Karnataka. And we are 4 friends who studied together MA in different subjects, but still are very close friends. We will meet every 3 months to exchange happiness, that's all. Our careers have been different, our money status is different, everything else has been different, except that we take ownership of each other's children and their well-being and the family as such. So he took me there and I went there. All the directors of Infosys were having lunch. I met Mrs. Sudha Murthy, Narayan Murthy's wife, who's chairperson of their charitable work or public work. She's more qualified than her husband. Okay? In terms of her technical competence, she has a higher level of competence. She gave her husband a loan to start a business. Yeah, she did. The first 15,000 that Mr. Narayan Murthy put in Infosys were loaned by Mrs. Sudha Murthy. She is an author of 5 or 6 fantastic books. I would ask all of you to read it. They are not expensive and they are written from here, from the heart, by a person who's discovered life and the real meaning. And she was happily sitting in the boardroom, fully air-conditioned, modern, best in the world, and still eating with her hands her rice and dal. There was a fork, there was a knife, there was a spoon. It didn't bother Miss Sudha Murthy. And I learned that day that you need to be yourself. And to be able to confidently carry yourself, you have to be a Sudha Murthy. So you have to discover that. And then you have to decide where you want to call it a day. What do you want to be? And what will you do if you achieve that final goal? I want to be a millionaire. Now, million today has 10 lakh rupees, kuch bhi nahi hote. So I don't even want you to be just a millionaire. 10 lakh rupees se kuch nahi hota. एक बढ़िया गाड़ी नहीं आती है, एक क्लब की मेंबरशिप नहीं मिलती है. Secunderabad club's admission fee is above 10 lakhs of rupees today, just to enter and get a membership. 10 lakhs get you what? In a high-tech city, how many square yards, sir? 20 square yards? Or maybe 200 yards at the most, in some areas. Where does it get you a house? You can't get an admission for your child when you grow up and you have children in a good engineering institute. Everyone asks, ISB is probably taking now 30 lakhs for the 16-month course. So where will all that money come from? It must come from your own vision and dreams to do this. Do I make sense to all of you, ladies and gentlemen? Because I'm now going to introduce your lab to you. If this is clear, I'll tell you. What are the qualities that you need to have in yourself to be successful in life? Leadership, very important. And leadership not of the kind of standing on charastas and taking a mic and shouting against people. Leadership in terms of growing people with you, taking them forward in life, giving them their dreams, not just your dreams. What do our netas do? They give you their dreams, not your dreams. They give you your dreams only when they need your votes. And that also in the meetings, nothing beyond that. Otherwise, they're just fulfilling their dreams. Apart from leadership, you need to be a good communicator. How will you talk to people? You have 20 employees. You can't call one by one. Hey, come in, I'll talk to you. Then second, then third, then fourth. You must start valuing time. This is the only resource that is slipping away from your treasury. Everything else in your safe box is intact, but time, unfortunately, is not intact. The number of years you have lived is the number of years you have lived. That's it. They are gone by. I can't look back and say, hey, God, give me these years back. If you give me this, I'll be a different person. God says, I have many other people to be different persons. I gave you a time at one time, and that's the time you should have thought of time. All the individuals that came here to make presentations to you, most of them in any case, I will ask Anil or someone to correct me. All the people who came to give their experience and knowledge to you, whom you call trainers, professors, whatever you, or business leaders, they are all people who belong to an organization. The organization that is organizing this for you. I am the very first JC of Hyderabad, Secunderabad, Telangana, whatever you want to call it, Andhra Pradesh. I am the one of the 5 who came. I'll give you the names of the other 4 also. At least 2 or 3 of them you would remember. You will be able to place. With me was Mr. Ramoji Rao. Ramoji Film City, Enadu, ETV, Margadarshi Chit Fund, and what have you. Man has achieved things in his life. He is a graduate. Just a graduate, BCom. From Andhra area. And where is he today? He used to go to his work in Delhi in a publication on a cycle. He used to live in a small outhouse in Malakpet. He had an office in Himayat Nagar in the garage of a bungalow. But all that is his own. He's achieved it himself. Third person was one Mr. Shankar Melkote. You have seen him in about 200 movies. A huge guy with a beard, glasses, fat, tall. Some small roles he does, but he has done about 200, 300 movies. Brilliant actor of Osmania University. Won a scholarship to go to America for a year. Did his masters, did his law, did law practice, but got into business, marketing and all that. And is very, very happy. His wife, Rama, is a brilliant professor of political science. Absolutely top class. And if you see husband and wife, one is Northful, one is Southful. He loves good life. He loves all good, expensive things in life. And her PhD was in communism in France. The rise and fall of communism in France is her subject for thesis. And she believes in those values. But they still click. This click as husband and wife, they have made it good. And these are the kind of people that we were all there. One was a chartered accountant, one was an insurance guy, and I was the 5th one who was a salesman, still struggling in life. And this laboratory took me through my experiences ahead in life. What I got the opportunity is that whatever I was learning, the organization gave me an opportunity to practice it. I told you what my English was at one time. It was a matter of pride and self-pride and dignity that I learned to speak English without learning any grammar. Because a cousin brother of mine, my father's elder brother's son, who was like a brother to my father, the age difference between one brother and another was 18 years. So my father and my father's nephew were friends. They grew up together. And they were very close to each other. He was a managing director at that time of State Bank of Hyderabad, a brilliant Rotarian and a fantastic speaker. And with him, he felt very small that his youngest brother cannot speak English. So what he did, he bought me a book. He bought me a book of letters from a father to a daughter. Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru to Indira Gandhi. I mean, I think generations and generations and generations have read that. And I used to cry when I was given that book. He asked me to learn English and he said, read first chapter, fully, once, twice, thrice, 4 times, close it and write it in your own words. So very faithfully, first day I read 3, 4, 5, 6 times, I don't remember. I wrote that, and when he came next day to check my work, he threw it on my face. And then my brother was a short-tempered guy. And fortunately, I didn't understand what he said because he said that all in English. He was trying to teach me English, big words. All abuses that were in dictionary he must have used. I am disappointed with you, you are a shame to the family, you are this, you are that. All right. And I had tears. A college-going, Nizam college guy, really crying, went into my little room and cried. And then he felt sad. He was, he owed it to my mother who was there. My father had died just a few weeks ago. And he told her, okay, no, I want to teach him. So when he came to my room, he says, I'm sorry, I'm short-tempered, I got this. No, I'll teach you. You try this once again. Second day also I tried the same very sincerely. This time I read it 6 times. The same lesson. And I rewrote it again. And again he threw it on my face. And then again I cried. Third day he came, he expected that I'll write it again. Fortunately the house had 2 doors, an entrance door here, and there was a small door from which you could slip away from the house. When he came, his car would make a sound. The driver would sound his horn. He entered from the first door, I disappeared from the rear door. Third day I did that, fourth day I did it, fifth day I did it, sixth day I did it. He would come every day to spend time with my mother, and after a week he tells her, tell him I will not teach him English, but let him at least stay at home and meet me. I never met him. I resolved in myself that I will only talk to him when I can talk in English. I did that whichever way. But then I came to this organization and it taught me public speaking. We were fortunate to have a lady coming from America who knew this organization that I'm talking of which all of us, Anil, Sanjay, I are all members. We have been passed through that grill. The JCs. She knew this organization in America. She was on an exchange fellowship. Because they don't have speech course here, she was teaching English in the women's college. She walked into the Ritz Hotel at that time. Novat Park Ritz Hotel used to be there. Ask your dad, granddad, they will tell you. And in that hotel, she came and announced this. I want 12 participants, and I jumped. I said, here's some lady who's going to teach me public speaking, and I learned. Made a difference. And next year, we wanted her to do this course again. And she was ready to do for another batch, provided one of us takes up to be her understudy, because she was going to go away. And she wanted more people to learn public speaking. She said, I have given it to you, you must give it to many others. And then, because there was nobody else who volunteered, I volunteered. And the result is that I became a trainer, and I could then start doing other courses, trainings, and I got a career out of it. All that happened in my life was this first step that she made me take. We have that laboratory for you, where this step with you, many of us are willing to take it with you. Take you there and show you where you can go. You need to build a family. You have a family. Your mother, your father, your brothers, sisters, cousin, you have a family. But there's a family that is going to come later. And that's as important. And that's not this family. The girls go to another house, another city, maybe boys will bring in girls from another, and that family has to be grown. You have your successes and failures of young youth. No, it's okay. Thank you, technology. You have younger brothers and sisters that you have grown with you, and when your children come, you all will not like them to be brought like that, so you would like a different family. How will you run it? We need to give you a family experience. Because for everything that you learn, you need a lab. For a driving, you need a lab. For cooking, you need a lab. For homekeeping, you need a lab. For selling, you need a lab. We need to go to market to sell. I did that on the streets of Andhra Pradesh for about 10, 12 years. Morning to evening with a briefcase. Done, done, done. It comes only from that. You need to build your teams. How do we know what teams are? A husband and wife and children automatically happened and somehow they made a team. Accidental. Today there are no accidental teams professionally. We all make teams because we need to have those team built around us. I and Anil, if the age you look at it, how do we become friends? And how do we learn from each other? You think I don't learn from them? I learn much more from them than I can give them back because they've done that learning. They are there with that kind of knowledge. And those teams need to build. IPL you watch. See how each team is faring. One day they win very well, one day they lose very well. Tendulkar is not anymore the only name. In fact, he is not even the name on the top 10. Rahul Dravid, who announced his retirement, suddenly is playing better cricket than he played ever. Hats off to this man at 40, when the age is gone. He comes as opening batsman for Rajasthan Royals. As a captain, he shows to them that I am taking the responsibility. Come, I am there. I am taking you from here. And where has he taken this team? Amazing. They are going to be in the semi-finals for sure. Top 4 teams. We need to build all that. We'll teach you how to build those. How to get people. We all believe that all people are very, very good. I refuse to believe that someone is born bad and someone is born good. There's nothing like born good, born bad. We are whatever we are in this world, and how much we want it to be good and presentable and rich and everything. Then we need to earn money. How do we know how much money is enough? Not one of you today can really sit down and say, in the next 15 years I must earn so much money. You don't know. You will only know when it actually goes out of your pocket, comes into your pocket as your money and goes out as your money. 2,000, 3,000, 5,000 pocket money that you happily go across and spend in Necklace Road or wherever is a welcome money. But how long? Someday it has to be your own. And we'll teach you how to earn money. Because in this organization, we run it on money from our own community. I want you to have, I'm sure you need a status. And status, my friend, doesn't come by acquiring material things. If you have a bigger car, you are a bigger guy. If you're Chiranjeevi's son, you can beat 2 software engineers on a road. You are in all newspaper and you become a big guy. Sorry, no dice. You never become big like this. But then status is there. Status is for a guys like Mr. Narayan Murthy. Status is for a guy like Azim Premji. Status is for people who have done something like Ramoji Rao. People who have shown the world, and for years, generations, you will come get to know what this man has contributed to the society. All of you use computers. Bill Gates is the god of all that. And what is a degree? He doesn't have a degree. If you don't know, let me tell you today. Bill Gates has no educational degree. And he is the most dynamic man who used computer technology to make people millionaires. We need recognition. This organization lets you enjoy that. You know, we all want to become important. And this organization makes you this. And all this organization does is train, train, and train. All the projects that we do are meant to train young members. We take you as a fresher. We train you in skills from 1. We allow you to experiment those skills because we give you leadership positions. We make you accountable for 100 rupees that you are spending for the organization. You get the value of money like that. We make you organize things. We were a new set of 30 people who became Hyderabad JC's members. How did we become friends? We started having potluck dinners once a month among members. 10 members would be the host, and the rest, all 30 will together have that dinner. But our dinner was not go to one place, give big money. We didn't have big money. Even Taj Mahal was difficult. But then, what we would do, we would assemble. All the 30 couples would assemble at, 30 was the number, but 20 to 22 will come. Others were busy. All of these 45 people will assemble at the first house. What does the hostess give? A cool drink and a snack. Then we pick up our bikes, including that host, take to the next house. A soup and something else. Then we take them to the third house, one part of the meal, fourth house, second part of the meal. Like that we did. And we did it for 2 years. And all of us became friends for life. We needed to be getting together. So this is the kind of learning that we do in this. Learn, practice. It's a fabulous organization. It gives you an entire business management. It gives you an entire MBA plus a laboratory where you can actually experiment everything. The projects that we do, the skills that we display are all like that. And I have come here, ladies and gentlemen, inviting you to try your luck with this. Try a few years with this. It doesn't cost you much. Yeah, there is a subscription. It doesn't come for free. But try and experiment with your life. We are all here. There are about 10,000 of us in the city who have gone through and benefited. And there are people who have achieved local, district, state, all India, international recognition for their skills. And they are all available to all of you. So come, ladies and gentlemen, come to join JCs. It is something that made me, it made hundreds and thousands of people like me. And I invite you to enjoy this adventure. Thank you so much. Any questions? Any questions on this organization or about me or about you? Clap for him. He has the courage to ask a question.
Hello?
Yes. Go ahead.
In the market, the piece value or the property value or any material value, when you are purchasing, the value is going up. When you are selling up, the price is going down. What is the difference? When you are getting, previously we are getting one profit.
Okay.
Previously I have a one Vespa scooter which is purchased by dollars. Now when I purchased 25,000 or I sold it at 30,000.
Brilliant. Clap for him, please. I'll answer it. I'll give you a wonderful example. I'll also talk about the first scooter that I bought. I bought my first scooter, Vespa, at 3,000 rupees. I got it at 3,000 rupees because, kindly sit down. Let me look at this gentleman. I got it at 3,000 rupees. Excuse me, look at me, you asked the question. White shirt gentleman, why are you looking back? Look at me. 3,000 rupees I bought it. That was the time. Because demand and supply is the question we must understand. I used it for 12 years. A nephew of mine wanted it. I told him, take it to a mechanic, show, give me 500 rupees less than that. He took it to a good mechanic and showed it and gave it to me. He came back and said, he said it is worth 5,000, but I want to pay you 4,250. 4,250. I said, give me to the 4,250. He used it for 3 years. Vespa. And when he sold it, he got 4,750. He again came back to me and said, this 500 is yours. So I said, no, it's not yours. It's not mine, it's yours. Finally, we agreed that all four of us, he, his wife, me, my wife, will have a meal and enjoy that 500 rupees. Demand and supply was like this. Technology was stagnant. We got one Lambretta which ran for 20 years. They manufactured the same. Fiat car, Ambassador car that was manufactured was the same. Technology didn't change. The facilities did not change. The performance did not change. But today, you buy one product and you come home and you want to go back, by second they said, we have something better for you. And there is no resale today. I find it very difficult when we buy a new television, I can't sell my old television. I bought a television at 20,000 rupees. Finally, I gave it to my maid. I said, please see, use it, because keeping it at home, where do you find the place? So it is bound to happen. Times have to change because now technology is advancing. You're getting new and new. Hasn't it happened to your mobiles? Hasn't it happened? Software has done so many things for you. A mobile is available in 2000, but it is also available in 20,000. Depends on which one you use. For the purpose of talking, 2000 is also good enough, isn't it? It makes you talk well. So technology has changed, times have changed, people's aspirations have changed. Old generation was happy with a Fiat car, Lords. Today, you buy a car and the younger brother wants two very much more advanced car than his brother bought. Where are we satisfied with that? So it's the aspirations, it has to happen. That's why, my friend, when I earned 300 rupees, it was a lot of money. When you earn 3 lakhs of rupees, it may or may not be enough for your family of 4. So good luck. Go ahead and earn more. Anybody else? Thank you so much. It has been a pleasure totally. Thank you for accepting me.
May I request Gampa sir to kindly do the honors.
Thank you. 9849056706. Email ID? Yeah, I see email every day. 9849 Growth Center, GROWTHCENTRE. Growth Center at readifmail.com.